Good morning, Doug. Good to see you.
Hey, good morning, Jude. Thank you for having me on. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning,
Everybody.
Doug.
Always a pleasure. And I know we're going to discuss a topic that's close to you, so I'm excited to have you guys on.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you.
So John Dodson is with us. We're going to wait for him to appear on the screen, and then Jeff, you can take over.
All right, sounds good. There he is, Mr. Dodson. How you doing this morning, John? You're muted, my friend.
How about that?
There you go. Now we can hear you. The lips were moving, nothing was coming out.
There you go. Hey, Jeff.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope both of y'all are doing well in this cold, cold morning here in the Carolinas.
Yeah, my car was a little windy this morning when I cranked it up. Hey, hey, Doug.
Hey, John, how are you doing?
I'm good, man.
How was your big event last night?
It was good. It was good. We missed you. I didn't know. I couldn't remember if I texted you or not. It's just been a whirlwind, but missed Jeff too. So, but it was a good stocks for tots.
Well, I'm nursing some busted ribs right now, so I couldn't come in if I wanted to. So
Man.
I'm okay, but at the same time, I don't go out in public right now until I get a little more healed up. Somebody run into me the wrong way, it hurts too much.
Man.
Wow.
So
Sorry about that.
enough of that. Let's get down to brass tacks here. We got some stuff that's real important. So Doug, do you want to lead off, or how you want to do this right here, my friend? Because I know that you've got a plethora of things that you want to share with us. Because again, I don't want to call it a sport no more, but our industry is, we thought it was an octopus, and I don't know what the next thing is. It's got more arms than that, but we've definitely got so many tentacles out there right now in so many different directions and so many opportunities, but a lot of those opportunities have not been pointed out, I don't think. And I think some of the things that we were getting away from, people are giving up on, they don't need to give up on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sure does, Jeff. I mean, today, I'm excited to talk about Roush Yates, our company, and our partnership with the Universal Technical Institute, my buddy John Dodson, and the relationship that we've had since 2004 and how it's helped build our company and all the great employees that we have today. 30% of them came through UTI and John's connection there, but it really goes back to, me getting a start, my dad teaching me how to build engines, and he always told me, if you have a skill, you'll always have a job. And back then, as you know, racing was pretty, it was really just a passion, a hobby that's turned into a huge industry. That's the reason why we're here today. It's something I'm really proud of. But it takes great partnerships. It takes great people, and thanks for Judy and EPARTRADE and you guys having us on today. But our relationship started way back racing with you guys, and then ultimately here at Roush Yates with our buddy Jack Roush. We put this together in 2004. My dad and I had our engine shop with Robert Yates Racing and the 28 car and the 88 car, and Jack Roush had his cars that we were competing against. We found ourselves the last two Ford guys left standing, and with the encouragement of Motor Company and Edsel Ford, they said, you guys will be better together than apart. And finally we brought that together. My dad and Jack didn't, they were competitors. They were really fierce competitors. They wanted to be the best Ford car in town. That was a lot of pride in that, as you know, back in how it used to work back in the day. And so at the end of 2003, we put Roush Yates together here in Mooresville, and I said, we want you to run this company, and want you to build engines for all 8 Ford Cup teams at the time. Later, we added Xfinity and some other things along the way. And I found myself sitting here in my office saying, all right, this is awesome, but how are we, where are we going to find some people, and how are we going to do this? And I called John. I said, John, you got to help me, buddy. I'm in desperate need of some hardworking people, and what can we do? And that year in 2004, we hired many people from 10 people from UTI and John's program, and had a one heck of a year, and went on to win the championship with Kurt Busch at the end of the year. I'll never forget John saying, these graduates now have championship rings, and and they are so proud. And that's really how we got this relationship started.
Can I interject something, John? Because I want to come to you next, and that's the thing that I find compelling and at the same time exciting. And folks need to understand from my perspective that I've known both these gentlemen for a long, long time. We were all, we're grassroots racers. But the main thing is it's always hard to bring somebody in who's got desire but doesn't have experience and give them the time and work with them when you're running a race team. And tip of the hat to those folks with the mothership UTI, coming up with NASCAR Tech and get somebody like John to go in and run it and have the time and understand what you're needing, Doug, and what he's teaching. Am I right, John?
You're absolutely right, and I think the advantage that we have there is me being in the racing industry for 25 years before we opened this school. So you guys are all my extended family, and having those relationships and for me, being shop foreman and running a shop, I know exactly what Doug wants to hire, and Tim Cindric over at Penske, I know what they want to hire, and Joe Gibbs, I know what they need. So we need those thoroughbreds to come in, ears open, mouth shut. We've all given that speech over the years and had it given to us, and just kids that are ready to come in here and give themselves and do all the right things. I tell them here at the campus, if you want to put on that Pennzoil uniform on race day, you got to be a professional. And that's what Roger Penske expects. That's what Doug Yates expects with Roush Yates Engines. And they come here and do it. They come from all over the country. Used to come from abroad, but now all over the country. And when someone packs up from New Mexico and moves across the country to come to NASCAR Tech, they're pretty serious about what they're doing. They leave their family behind and they want to go racing. And just last night at Stocks for Tots, as a young man from Arizona transferred here, and he told me he wanted to work at Roush Yates Engines. He was at the Stocks for Tots volunteering, clean cut professional young man, and he's going to make it. And that that's what we're looking for, and that's what Doug's looking for.
I mean, the thing is, and this is the other part that I love about what you're doing here, John. You can almost, because of your experience, you can evaluate that passion.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people can talk a good game, but get them in there and put them in the grind.
Yeah.
You got to understand, racing is still, it's a tough sport. But the other part, and I don't want to leave this without touching on it, is the fact that they come in, a lot of them come in wanting to be, NASCAR mechanics, machinists, whatever, fabricators. But some of them realize maybe after they get in here and they get to understanding what's going to be required of them, they don't want to do that. But it doesn't mean they can't leave your organization or your school without a diploma and an opportunity to go back to what Doug said his daddy taught him. If you've got a trade, you got a job, because you guys have got other options for that.
The trades, it's not a pandemic, but it's close to it, skilled labor, and we've started offering a welding, HVACR, robotics, electronics, industrial maintenance. We're doing all that now, and the classes are filling up. There's such a need for technicians, and it's a misunderstanding here. Yes, it says NASCAR Technical Institute on the building, but we have 14 schools across the country, and it's automotive and diesel training. Here we just have the NASCAR program where we're feeding the race teams, the manufacturers like Doug and Doug's engine shop. We're feeding them with the right prospects. But when you leave here, you've taken the automotive program, and you can go to any dealership and become a technician there. Of course, there's different levels of students, but there's lots of jobs. We have 3 jobs on our job board for every student in our school across the country. So the jobs are there. If you have the desire, and I've got 5 grandsons, and they're all going to learn a trade. I don't know what else they're going to do, but they're going to learn a trade as they grow up, and that's what their parents are saying as well. But I don't want to say one thing. I want to talk about first, because we wouldn't be successful without Doug Yates and without Roger Penske and without Hendrick Motorsports. So the first, as Doug said a while ago, he's the first one to hire a NASCAR Tech grad in 2004. I'm like, who's going to try? Who's going to be that first one? And it was Doug, and he got 10 and got him championship rings that year. Doug's the first to hire a female graduate from here. And you know, for years that was taboo. They had to have their own room, or when they traveled, and it was just hard to do. Doug's the first to hire a female for Roush Yates Engines. Then he's the first one to put a female, a graduate from here. Madison Conrad came here from New Mexico. Lots of desire, incredible student, and she's the first female engine tuner in the Cup Garage. All because of Doug Yates and his vision. He's reinvented his business. He's the first one to start a manufacturing business with all his equipment and reinvent that. He's the first one to hire one of our CNC graduates, Darren Rand, that's over there now. So that's what makes us successful, is people like Doug taking a chance with us back in the day. And then now I think we're up to 170 to 75 graduates at Roush Yates Engines. Am I right, Doug?
Yeah, absolutely, John. Thanks for the props there. I mean, it's just been a great partnership, and like I said, it goes way back. But from those first 10 employees that we hired, and a lot of them are still part of our team today, 30% of our workforce came from UTI. 200 employees, over 60 employees started at UTI. And to build a great company, it takes great people with dedication and passion. And what a great resource. I mean, the number one thing I hear from business owners is, I can't find employees. Well, go see John, go see UTI, and we do a lot of things with those guys, which I'm really proud. Today, we have 28 of our FR9 engines on their campus. So their students get to learn on our engines, and whether they come here or another engine shop or another CNC shop, like you mentioned, we've diversified the company, have a lot of CNC equipment that we need good, talented people to raise there as well. But it's just, what a great resource and what a great partnership. But all businesses come down to great people. And that's what we've done together. And it's something that has really powered our success.
You know, the thing is, and I think John will back me up on this, Doug, the one thing that I have been always admired about you is that when you decided you wanted to be like your daddy, you accomplished that. You know, you have that personality, but you also, a lot like your daddy, he had a vision, because he was an engine builder and he decided to become a race team owner. I mean, he took a leap of faith, and it produced, and he grew that idea, and you came along with him. But when you guys, you talk a lot about your partnership with Roush. That is also shows to me the type of businessman, and at the same time, the type of futuristic vision you've got in working with Ford at the same time, and understanding how is the business going to be? What's going to be the business model? Not tomorrow, but 10 years down the road. And you guys have now set yourself on a path of, you have resources like with John at UTI or NASCAR Tech to draw from. But it also shows your willingness to take a chance, as John has pointed out. But it really wasn't taking a chance. It was a fact, I think you did your homework on UTI and realized the program was going to be what you needed, and they had it already in place, and you didn't have to replicate it, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, it's, the credit goes to my dad. I mean, he took the chance, and we were downtown Charlotte in a small shop where he took over at Rainier, and really ended up owning the race team because they decided to get out of the sport. And Davey Allison was our driver, and Davey looked at my dad and said, "Robert, you can be a car owner." And he said, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, you have all the skills, you're ready for it." My dad went home that night, told my mom he was buying a race team, or they were buying a race team. They sold their house, moved in an apartment, and that was 1988. I was in college at NC State trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my career. And my mom called me and said, "Hey, look, we just bought this race team, and we need you to come back to work for us when you graduate." 1990, I graduated from NC State, showed up, and we owned 3 engines and about 6 race cars, and had about a dozen people working for us. And look, in 2024, NASCAR has just really taken off and exploded. And I'm proud of all the things we've accomplished all through those years, but it was taking that chance to buy that team and putting everything on the line and betting on himself and what he had done, and with Davey's encouragement, that's the reason why we're here today. as Roush Yates, and then Jack Roush. I mean, you know Jack really well, Jeff, and Jack is just an incredible man. You know, having Jack Roush and Robert Yates as my mentors and business owners, I mean, I just, you know, couldn't ask for anything better. And my goal was to make them proud, and I feel like we've done that. And this year, I'm really proud. In fact, it's really special to have you here because you remember this. When my dad left Junior Johnson, they went on to win 3 Cup championships in a row with Cale Yarborough. And we always talked about that. And he was kind of disappointed he didn't get to do that. This year, with Team Penske and their great teams and their great drivers, we've won 3 in a row with Ford Motor Company, which is a historic event. They've never done that before. Everybody at Roush Yates, all the great people at Ford Performance, the Ford family, just what an incredible team to be on. So I'm really proud to be part of that, and I know my dad would be smiling if he were here today to see what he started and we're carrying on today in 2024, heading into 2025 with NASCAR and where the sport is today.
So guys, we talked a lot about the present, but let's talk a little bit more about the future. With all of what's going on within the motorsports world around the globe, can you give us some insight on what, you know, John, what programs are you going to need to implement as we move forward? And Doug, as far as your stuff, I mean, I know that you also build spec motors for modifieds and, you know, short track races around the country, you know, sprint cars. I mean, you guys, you do everything. What's going to be the next thing that's coming down the pike? I mean, I've had a privilege this week to talk to NASCAR Europe about what they've got going on over in Europe and how they're growing and getting stronger. So internationally, across the board right now, what's kind of like on the horizon?
Well, I'll start. I guess for us, you know, the big thing's EV. We've opened some EV training programs in our California campuses, and we'll be expanding that out. I don't know how EV racing's going. I know NASCAR is dipping their feet in that. I kind of like to hear exhaust and have some noise at a racetrack. But look, it's going to be part of the future, and it's something we have to be talking about. But at our other campuses, Doug talked about what he does here. He supports us here in our CNC program with equipment, our FR9 engines, but all the other campuses are automotive, but they have a power and performance program, which is the Roush Yates Power and Performance Program. So no matter what campus you go to, you get that power and performance. The future, you know, technology is here and it's going to stay here, but people still love hot rods, carburetors, you know, and being able to tune an engine. And that's going to be here too. That's going to stay around. I don't think it's going anywhere. And that's what we're happy about with Roush Yates Power and Performance there. We've talked to Brazil. They've been asking us, NASCAR Brazil. They want some meetings with us. We have had a few meetings. Don't know how that looks, but and then NASCAR going to Mexico next year. There's going to be some changes. One thing about NASCAR is they're going to change, you know, and motorsports. So you've got to be ready for it. And thanks to Doug and the partnership, we're up with the latest technology here and with their support. So we're going to be ready for that change.
Yeah, absolutely. And John, it's good to hear that you like the sound of engines too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For us, we're always looking ahead. I mean, we're proud to be partners with NASCAR at our CNC facility. We're part of the next gen car program. So we supply all the uprights. We service those for the teams. We make the ARBs. We're currently making the control arms this year. That'll be new for us, Jeff. So control arms and toe links and things like that. So we're always continue to look ahead. How can we be part of the sport? How can we continue to look ahead? On the engine side, I think it's just more technology, you know, more data, more control systems. I think in the future, in the near future, I think you'll see other OEMs come into NASCAR with different engine architecture. So that's something that John Probst and his team at NASCAR really have to figure out is how do we have a pushrod V8 versus a turbo engine or other variants of that. And so those are the things that are coming in the future. So I think for the sport, it's going to be an exciting time. There's going to be change. NASCAR is always looking like I said, Ben Kennedy, going to the Clash, going back to Bowman Gray, going to Mexico, racing at Chicago on the street course. You know, that's what I like about NASCAR today. They're not afraid to change. It's not just the same schedule every year, which I know we loved going to Rockingham and going to, you know, the same old schedule was really fun, but it's an exciting time where they're really mixing it up, trying new things. The new TV package is going to be exciting. I've got to figure out how to find it on my phone app or whatever. My daughters are seniors in high school, and now you can watch everything on YouTube TV. But I think, you know, you have to continue to embrace change. And of course, we all love and have great memories about certain days and eras in our sport. But you look on pit road today, the guys changing tires and jacking the car, and you were one of the best ever, Jeff jacking the car and John changing tire. But you look at the athletes now are incredible. I mean, I walk down pit road and I'm in awe of the interest in our sport. And that alone, I think, brings different people and different involvement in our sport. So to me, it's an exciting time. And I think if you embrace change and you embrace the future, you have a better outlook on life. And all that we want to do here at Roush Yates is be part of that, be part of Ford's program, be part of NASCAR's program, and continue to just be part of the future of the sport. And that's something that you know, I pride ourselves on here, and we're always looking ahead.
Speaking of looking ahead, you know, we've seen Chevrolet last year went to Le Mans. We know that Ford has been back and has won Le Mans several times. Key moments like that in these manufacturers, I guess you might say, history. How does that affect y'all? I mean, as far as, is that something that you embrace to be a part of? Because again, when you talk about the championships, the 3 in a row that Ford has won, those kind of nuggets, whether it's the 24 hours of Daytona, the 24 hours of Le Mans, it doesn't matter. When you win, especially one of these prestigious events, what it does for your organization as well as the people who work for you. I mean, they take a lot of pride in that. I mean, I don't care which manufacturer it is, but when you guys have the ability to kind of help shape or be a part of and encourage that kind of stuff, I mean, how do you view that?
Yeah, I'll jump in, John, if that's okay. I mean, I had to tell a story, and everybody knows the Ford versus Ferrari story where Henry Ford II, the Deuce, Etzel's dad, wanted to beat Ferrari so bad. Finally, they went to Le Mans 1966 and beat Ferrari, finished 1, 2, 3. So fast forward 2014, coming up on the 50th anniversary, Edsel calls and said, I think we want to go back and win the 50th. And said, oh, wow. And we want you, Roush Yates, to build the engines for that, because we had done the road race program, the Rolex 24, won that several times. And so we were going to race the 3.6 liter EcoBoost engine, twin turbo, and get ready. And that was a pretty intense call. And so in 2016, our team with Chip Ganassi Racing, Multimatic, and Ford went to Le Mans 50 years to the day and won that race and beat Ferrari. And it's just something that I still get chills just thinking about us being involved in that program. All of our employees, some of the UTI graduates were on that program.
Yep.
And to be able to race on an international stage and to bring that home with Ford Motor Company, and for Edsel and for Bill Ford and Will Ford and their families is something that, man, that's as big as it gets. And we want to be able to celebrate that.
That tells you how confident Edsel is in you, Doug. And, you know, you wait 50 years and say, well, let's just go back and win it again. And you pulled it off. You know, it was that easy. Let's just go back and do it. It's been 50 years and we'll win it. And you did.
And I don't know if Edsel is watching, but maybe somebody can give him a recording. But his dad used to say, just win, and really strong statement. And that's what Edsel told us. He said, just win. And he expected nothing less than that. And our team here at Roush Yates delivered that. And we're really proud of them.
Well, it's funny that both of you are kind of like echoing the same thing, because to me, our industry as a whole, is benefiting from what you guys are accomplishing right now at NASCAR Tech and over Roush Yates. And, so I think, maybe you need to get that saying and put it above your doors, just win.
Just one. Yeah.
When you walk in here, you're just going to win. And it doesn't have to be the race. It could be it doesn't have to be Le Mans. It's when you come in here, when you leave here, you've won because you got an education, you've learned how to get you that trade, and you're able to take that and move it forward in your life and your career. And all I can say, guys, y'all are doing one heck of a job, and you're making a lot of young men and women very excited to realize that they have an opportunity, and you guys are giving them the opportunity to do what they want to do, and that's just win. So great job. And again, appreciate you spending some time here with us this morning, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you all for having us on.
Thank you very much.
EPARTRADE is a digital platform that we've created basically to make life easier in the business community of auto racing.
EPARTRADE, there is no e-commerce. It's literally a connection just like at a trade show. So now, any time of the year, a buyer could reach out to a supplier.
When you see a product that you're interested in, all you need to do is click on request more information, and then from there it is forwarded directly to the buyer or to the supplier.
EPARTRADE really eliminates having to travel, closing down your shop. Now you have a place to showcase globally your racing product and technology.
Looking for a quick fix of motorsports news? The Speed Sport Daily is what you need. It's a free racing newsletter delivered directly to your email every day. We'll cover the winners and the losers and tell you who's making news off the track. It's NASCAR, NHRA, World of Outlaw, IndyCar, and so much more. Go to speedsport.com today and get signed up for America's free racing newsletter and get your daily motorsports fix. The Speed Sport Daily.
Land speed record holder George Poteet's Speed Demon rocketed 481 miles per hour at the Bonneville Salt Flats. You don't go that fast without ARP fasteners.
There is no way that we could go the speed that we've gone, the number of times we've gone, with a lesser quality bolt than ARP supplies to us. And we absolutely wouldn't be where we were today if it weren't for ARP.
When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com.
We're Performance Plus Global Logistics. Our team of dedicated performance industry and logistics experts get valuable cars and components to the track on time in top condition. We provide expedited logistics solutions for the performance industry using direct routes instead of deferred options, and communicate all necessary information to the appropriate resources to meet regulations and ensure a smooth transit and secure delivery, both domestically and internationally. And we exceed customer expectations by providing best-in-class service with an efficient and cost-effective system in place. Contact us today to book your next shipment.
Scott Lewis and Associates, the sales, marketing, and branding specialist for the automotive performance industry since 1988. We get our manufacturers on track by opening an extensive distribution network, providing product training to sales staff, creating fully integrated sales and marketing strategies, building successful industry partnerships, attending trade shows, events, and races, offering first-class support to customers. SLAI delivers solutions that win you sales. To get in touch with an SLAI representative, call 516-378-6100. Go to scottlewisinc.com or email info@scottlewisinc.com.
With roots in the Midwest that date back well before the Model T, Fifth Third Bank has a long history of serving the needs of automotive companies. While much has changed over the years, our passion for helping businesses put cars on the road and on the track has not. Today, we are more committed than ever as a member of SEMA, a founding member of PRI, and a sponsor of multiple race teams across several racing series.
For over a decade, Fifth Third Bank has been a staunch supporter of our industry and a great partner for many companies in the motorsports field.
Our business has been growing extremely fast, and really we could not be where we are today without Fifth Third. They provided amazing strategic advice, the capital we need to support our phases of growth.
They are true partners for me now, and what they do with their involvement in motorsports is untouched in this community.
Where can we take your business? Fifth Third Bank.
You work as hard as your truck, and you have no time for downtime. That's why more truck owners trust Blue Def, America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid brand. Each batch is guaranteed pure, so you can avoid costly repairs caused by inferior DEF. Demand America's best for your truck. Blue Def and Blue Def Platinum. Put trust in your truck.
When it comes to pushing the limits of performance, the pros know there's no room for compromise. At Crowder Cams, we don't just engineer camshafts and valve train components, we redefine what power means. Since 1955, Crowder Cams has been the name trusted by racers, engine builders, and gearheads around the globe. Whether you're building a street machine, a dragster, or a track car, Crowder Cams provides the muscle you need to dominate. And with Crowder, victory is within your reach.
For over 25 years, Wisconsin-based C-Tech Manufacturing has been engineering and manufacturing the toughest, most accessible aluminum tool drawers, cabinets, carts, and tactical storage solutions for America's hardest working professionals. Whatever you need to store and however you need to store it, put your trust in C-Tech Manufacturing. We build it better. Visit our new website at ctechmanufacturing.com or give us a call at 715-355-8842.
If you're watching this video, you might be wondering, what is WPC? WPC is a surface treatment designed to reduce friction and increase the strength of metal parts. As much as it might seem like a coating, WPC is actually a surface treatment. Think of it like shot painting, but the media is much finer, like talc. So what you're left with is a super hard, smooth surface that actually has some proprietary dry lubricants embedded within it. For more information, visit WPCtreatment.com.